Good morning, dear students. Welcome to this science class. Today we continue our discussion on chapter 4 Materials, Metals and Non-Metal. In the previous classes, you learned about physical properties of metals and non-metals, chemical properties of metals and non-metals. In that, we studied the reaction with oxygen and reaction with water. In today's class, you will learn about reactions with acids. Let us see how metals and non-metals behave with acids. Take samples of metals and non-metals, magnesium ribbon, aluminum foil, iron fillings, copper, peeled flexural wire, charcoal powder, sulfur powder in separate test tubes and label them A, B, C, D, E and F. With the help of a dropper, add 5 ml of dilute hydrochloric acid to each test tube one by one. Observe the reactions carefully. If no reaction occurs in a cold solution, palm the test tube gently. Bring a burning matchstick near the mouth of each test tube. Repeat the same activity using dilute sulfuric acid instead of dilute hydrochloric acid. Take samples of metals and non-metals in a separate test tube. Label them A, B, C, D, E and F. With the help of a dropper, add 5 ml of dilute hydrochloric acid to each of the test tube one by one. Observe the reactions carefully. If no reaction occurs in cold solution, warm the test tube gently. Bring a burning matchstick near the mouth of each test tube. Repeat the same activity using dilute sulfuric acid. Let us see the results. Test tube A contains metal magnesium ribbon. So it reacts with dilute hydrochloric acid. It gives hydrogen. When it reacts with warm hydrochloric acid, rapid reaction is taking place. Same is the case with dilute sulfuric acid at room temperature. It reacts to give hydrogen, and at warm, rapid reaction is taking place. Aluminium reacts with dilute hydrochloric acid at room temperature, reacts to give hydrogen. Rapid reaction is taking place. With sulfuric acid, reacts to give hydrogen, and rapid reaction is taking place. Iron fillings reacts to give hydrogen, rapid reaction, reacts with sulfuric acid, reacts to give hydrogen, rapid reaction. In the case of copper, there is no reaction taking place with the dilute hydrochloric acid, or when it is warm also no reaction taking place. Same is the case with the sulfuric acid. Charcoal powder, no reaction in both dilute sulfuric acid and dilute hydrochloric acid. Sulfur powder also no reaction with dilute hydrochloric acid and dilute sulfuric acid. So this is the result. So is there a difference in the way of metals and non-metals react with acids? What could the pop sound in some cases be due to when a burning matchstick is brought near the mouth of the test tube? You must have found that non-metals generally do not react with acids, but metals react with acids and produce hydrogen gas that burns with a pop sound. So the metals generally react with acids and produce hydrogen gas with a pop sound. Metals usually displace hydrogen from dilute acids, whereas non-metals do not do so and no hydrogen gas is evolved. You must have noticed that copper does not react with dilute hydrochloric acid even on heating, but it reacts with concentrated sulfuric acid. The next property is reactions with bases. Another activity, prepare a fresh solution of sodium hydroxide in a test tube by dissolving 3 to 4 pellets of sodium hydroxide in 5 ml of water. Prepare a fresh solution of sodium hydroxide in a test tube by dissolving 3 to 4 pellets of sodium hydroxide in 5 ml of water. Drop a piece of aluminum foil into it. Bring a burning matchstick near the mouth of the test tube. Observe carefully. See, we observe that a colorless gas is evolved which burns with a pop sound. This shows that aluminum reacts with bases on heating to produce hydrogen gas. So aluminum reacts with bases on heating to produce hydrogen gas. That's why the pop sound is produced. What does the pop sound indicate? As the pop sound indicates the presence of hydrogen. Metals react with the sodium hydroxide to produce hydrogen gas. and reactions of non-metals with bases are complex. Next one is displacement reaction. Take 500 ml beakers and label them A, B, C, D and E. A, B, C, D and E. Take 500 ml beakers. Take about 50 ml of water in each of the beaker. Dissolve in each beaker a teaspoonful of each substance as indicated. In test tube A, we are adding copper sulfate and zinc granules. Test tube B, beaker A, we are adding copper sulfate and zinc granules. Beaker B, we are adding copper sulfate and iron nail. Beaker C, we are adding zinc sulfate and copper turnings. Beaker D, we are adding iron sulfate and copper turnings. Beaker E, we are adding zinc sulfate and iron nail. Keep the beakers undisturbed for some time. Record your observations. So what will happen? Let us see. One metal displaces another metal from its compound in aqueous solution. In beaker A, zinc replaces copper from copper sulfate. That is why the blue color of the copper sulfate disappears and a powdery red mass of copper is deposited at the bottom of beaker. You can see here. Here, zinc displaces copper from copper sulfate. See, this is reaction. Copper sulfate plus zinc. So zinc displaces copper from copper sulfate. So zinc sulfate and copper is formed. Second case, here copper sulfate and iron nail. Here iron displaces copper from copper sulfate and ferrous sulfate is formed. You can see a reaction here. In beaker B, copper sulfate from iron, ferrous sulfate and copper is formed. You can see in these three cases, C, D and E beaker, there is no change at all. Let us see what happens there. There could have been displacement of zinc by copper in beaker C and by iron in beaker E. Similarly, iron could be displaced by copper in beaker D. Since we did not see any change in beaker C, we can infer that copper is not able to replace zinc from zinc sulfate. When zinc can replace copper in beaker A, copper cannot replace zinc in beaker C. So, zinc sulfate and copper, that is in beaker C, there is no reaction taking place. Then beaker D, we have ferrous sulfate and copper, so there is also no reaction. Copper E, beaker E, we have got zinc sulfate and copper, so there is no reaction. Remember that science is not arbitrary, so it follows a definite rules based on facts. So, and the rule here is that zinc is more reactive than copper and iron. A more reactive metal can replace a less reactive metal, but a less reactive metal cannot replace a more reactive metal. A more reactive metal can replace a less reactive metal, but a less reactive metal cannot replace a more reactive metal. Now you can understand why there are no displacement reactions in beakers C, D and E. Dear students, this is all for today's class. Hope you all have understood it. In the next class, you will learn about the uses of metals and